Evet evet, gazeteci araya girmese, hakikaten gazeteci araya girmese şu anda diplomatik kriz büyüyecek yani. Bu krizdir çünkü bu normal değil. Trump-Zelensky kavgasına baktım. Yo, bakmadım. Bixi'de izledim. Kaç dakika sürüyor? İzleyelim mi? Baştan sona incelemedim ya. Hadi bakalım. Bakalım, onu izledikten sonra da kaçarız yavaş yavaş ya. Ben yarına hazırlıkları falan da tamamlayayım. İnşallah. Yüce Allah'ın izniyle. Kulaklık. Dur bakayım. Okey, tamam. Kulaklığa ses geliyor şimdi. Buradan mı başlıyor basın? Tamam, devam ettir. Ver sesi baba.
And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side is exactly in love with...
Shuto, ekranı verir misin?
So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get...
Hala ekran diyorlar.
Ne oldu?
Ekran yokmuş hala.
Verdi şimdi. Şimdi verdi. Tam o verdi, sen kapattın.
The deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I will respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the president of the United States' words mattered more than the president of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he
Şimdi
occupied
abi çok garip bir ortam var ya. Vance şey adına konuşuyor. Trump adına konuşuyor. Hala sanki yani iktidara gelecekmiş gibi, seçim kampanyası varmış gibi, ya Biden şöyle ya, devlet geleneğinde, Amerika'da bile devlet geleneğinde bir önceki başkana sokup çıkarma işi ancak böyle meta olur, yani alttan olur, böyle bu şekilde olmaz yani. Bu ne abi ya, seçim rallisinde dolaşıyormuşsun gibi. İşte bir önceki başkanın yaptıklarından dolayı böyle oldu. İşte bu tam seçim döneminde de söylüyorlardı, bu bir sürpriz değil yani. Evet tamam, siz bunu savunuyorsunuz, okey, anladık. Ama bunu kalkıp da bir konferansta bütün dünyaya deklare etmek aptalca iş yaptı. Niye? İşte Putin'i tehdit etti. Putin sonra işte işgalini yaptı ama hiçbir şey gerçekleşmedi. Biz artık diplomasiyle. Ne diplomasi? Ne yani diplomasi? Onu anlamadım ben. Tabii Zelenski de çok garip yani, şey diyor. Tamam, ben bir şey söyleyebilir miyim falan diyor. Baştan şey var yani, Zelenski'de de hata var. Bak, Zelenski bir şey söyleyebilir miyim dediği anda Vance'de böyle bir tam üstünlük. Sure tabii diyor. Bak, bir geri al 5 saniye. File tasdil alabilirsin. Şey kullanma. Ya da öyle. Devam ettir.
Thumping our chest and pretending that the president of the United States' words matter.
Çünkü Vance'le Zelenski eşit değil normalde. Yani direkt şey yapması, siklememesi gerekir bunu. Bak, devam ettir.
What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yani baştan hata abi. Baştan hata.
Our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014 and 2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till
ama bak yani burada şey de Crimea olayını konuşuyorlar burada. İlk işgalini konuşuyorlar. Ben burada yoktum ki diyor. Hani bro, hani seni sikeyim. Senin orada olmanın ne önemi var yani? Beyaz Saray, sen makamdan dolayı Trump olduğun için şey değilsin orada. I was not here yani. I was not here. Devam ettir.
Yeah, the situation the same. The people are been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him. Me, like a new president in 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broke the ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange.
Ya bu zaten baştan beri seçim dönemi boyunca bile Trump vaat ettiğini yapıyor aslında. Yani bu sürpriz değil o yüzden. Yani dikkat ederseniz eğer siklemiyor bile, yani Trump dinlemiyor bile, yani ne dersen de modunda bunun. Belli. Yani baştan beri söyledikleri bu. Hani baştan beri Biden'ın yanlış yaptığını, bu Zelenski'nin boşu boşuna bir şey olduğunu, milleti sömürdüğünü, işte biliyorsunuz o komplo teorilerini şeyde. Onun dışa vurumu bu. Ama yani bu kadar bu seviyede yapacaklarını ben de tahmin etmedim. Yani bu başka seviye. Bu Trump-esk bir tavır bile değil yani. Onun için bile fazla bu mevzu. Hani hakikaten bu Vance tayfası falan onu yeniden bir gazlamış o. Yani onunla görüşme niyetleri yok yani, anladın mı? Baştan itibaren görüşme niyetleri yok. Devam ettir.
Do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come.
Ya elin ayağını sikeyim ya, amına kodumun yavşağı. Adama diyorsun ki diplomasiyle bu işi halledeceğiz. Bu da sana diyor ki bu adam 2014'te ilk işgali yaptığında biz bununla görüştük, hatta saldırmazlık anlaşması imzaladık. Biz bütün diplomatik görüşmeleri yaptık. Sen hangi diplomatik görüşmeden bahsediyorsun? Soruyorum diyor sana. Öyle bir diplomasiden bahsediyorum ki bütün bu işte yok oluşu durduracak falan. Ne diyorsun? Yarrağımın başı. Ne anlatıyorsun sen ya? Senin Amerikalı sıfatını sikeyim ya. Yani senin yüzeysel kind of diplomacy which will end all this destruction. Siktir git amına kodumun yavşağı ya. Ne destruction'ı ne bilmem nesini anlatıyorsun. Adam sana diyor ki yarrağımın başı. Biz bununla oturduk, konuştuk, anlaştık diyor. Beni sikeyim yani. Ne? Bir de adam anlatıyor. Ne diyorsun diyor. Hemen basına dönüyor. I'm talking about diplomacy which will end of this destruction. Ha, bravo amına koyayım. Tamam. Texas'taki götü boklu seçmenleriniz alkış kıyamet. Evet, bütün destruction'ı bitiriyormuş falan diye. Yarak ya. Yani belli amına koyayım yani. Şeyden dolayı ezildiğinden patlamış yani. Ama bu işler çıkıp da orada burada şov yapmaya benzemez yani, anladın mı? Yani eline vermiş Zelenski senin burada. Eline vermiş adam seni. Ya biz bunları yaptık. Senin bunu bilmen lazım mesela. Yani senin Zelenski'nin bunu diyeceğini bilmen lazım mesela. Çünkü Zelenski bunu her yerde anlatıyor. Biz zaten Putin'le görüşmüştük bilmem ne falan diye. Ya buna bile cevap veremiyorsan just kind of know. Diplomasi. Ne tarz diplomasi diyor adam sana? Cevap yok. Devam ettir. Ben ilk defa full izliyorum bunu. Bix'den izledim alt üstü birazcık. Devam ettir.
In front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
Abi bir saniye. Vance'in çıkıp da başkanı bu konflikte, bu kendi hiyerarşisi içerisinde ne sıkıntılı bu arada? Yani kendi hiyerarşik yapılanması içerisinde başkan adına konuşup da onu içeri sahteleyip de şey yapmaya çalışıyorsun diyemez normalde böyle. Yani kendi hiyerarşisi için ne sıkıntılı bu yaptı. Bütün ülkeler dolaşıyorsunuz çünkü tabii ki de amına koyayım, Rusya süper güç ülke, tabii dolaşacak oğlum yani. Ukrayna tek başına elbette savaşamayacak, yardımla ayakta kalacak. Bunlar böyle gizem değil ki amına koyayım. Devam ettir.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure. Bir dur. Birincisi şu el hareketleri falan görüyor musunuz? Bu şeydir. Bu birinci sınıf retorik dersleridir. Elini nereye koyman önemlidir. Yani sahne eğitimi aldıysanız bilirsiniz onu. Ya da işte bu tarz konuşma eğitimleri aldıysanız. Ellerini koyacak yerin olmadığı için sürekli böyle birleştirirler ellerini. Merkel şeyidir o. Merkel meşhurdur onu yapması. Çünkü Merkel çok sap bir kadın, böyle çok robotik bir kadın. Eller böyle birleştirilir. Ondan sonra aynı anda kullanılır. Açılır böyle. Çünkü niye elini açtığı zaman davetkar falan olur böyle bilmem ne. Çok vücut dili temel eğitimidir yani anladın mı? Belli bunlar. Türkiye'de de çok görüyorum ben böyle. Direkt anlıyorum yani. Tamam buna böyle bir kurstan hızlı bir şeyden eğitimden geçirmişler. Zelensky çok net şey veriyor. Çok net yani kolları şey yaptı. Çok net beden dili çok net. Bu şey değil. Alttan verilen bir şey değil. Yani bilerek verdiği mesaj bu arada bu. Otomatikmen verdiği bir şey değil. Hani evet tam ben şeye kapalıyım diyor. Burada şeyi anlamadım ama. Orada beni bir aydınlatsanıza ben bugün hazır değilim de. İşte sen sahte turlar falan düzen onu anladık. Zırvalıyor bu Vensine de. Gelip de senin ülkeni kurtarabilecek tek yönetime saldırman anlamsız diyor. Saldırıdan kastı ne? Zelenski'nin saldırdı dediği neydi?
Abi ben istersen bir söyleyeyim.
Söyle.
Bu yayın kaydının sonunda da aynı sahne var. Galiba yanlış yayınlamışlar. Burada öncesinde bayağı bir Trump'ı yalanlıyor mesela. Bir bilgi veriyor Trump. İşte diyor Ukrayna'da tüm şehirler yok oldu. Hayat yok şu an. Zelenski orada araya giriyor öyle olmadı vesaire diyor. Herhalde ona saldırdım diyor.
İyi tamam devam edelim. Onu görürüz olan öyleyse eğer.
Yani 1 saatlik bir yayın ama şu
Tamam, devam
ortalarda
et
falan
sen.
olmuş galiba.
Devam et.
First of
Anlarız onu.
all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know that.
bless. You will not
You
have
gotta-
the war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
you're doing.
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right
From
about
the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You don't
was-
have the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
Yeah, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you think
You're
about-
gambling with
what do you
World
think about-
War III. And what you're doing is very
Ya bu şey var.
to the
Bu şey var. Trump yönetimi ve Trump destekçilerinde işte Biden bu işte Ukrayna'ya ateşleyerek 3. Dünya Savaşı'na sebep oldu aslında. İşte bu temelde de seçmen bazında da şey var ya bunlar işte çıkaracak elitler bilmem neler. Trump da orada şey yapıyor hani o bütün onun dışa vurumu. Bütün o komplo teorilerinin, beklentilerinin, siyasetlerinin, Rusya yakınlığının dışa vurumu bu yani. Dışa vurum bu. Tek merak ettiğim mevzu bu. Bu bizi pek sikleyen mevzu değil. Aynı duruşu Biden yönetiminin ateşlediği YPG'ye, desteklediği, Orta Doğu'yu ateşe soktuğu YPG'ye gösterebilecek mi? Aynısını YPG yapacak mı? Onu merak ediyorum. Yani madem mevzu Biden yönetiminin işte ateşle oynaması mevzusu, onu mesela oraya YPG yapacak mı? Onu göreceğiz. Adama resmen. Tabii de yani hem birincisi şov yapıyor. Yani kendi seçmenleri için Amerika artık güçlü tekrardan. İşte Biden gibi alttan almıyoruz. Haddini bildiriyoruz. Hem de karşılığı yok yani anladın mı? Yani bu Zelenski sana ne yapacak amına koyayım yani. Zelenski'nin ağa gitmiş vağa kalmış. Zelenski istediğini yapabilirsin. Şov yapıyor orada hani kendi kitlesine şov. Bak o şeye geldik Oval Office'e girdik de şey yapıyoruz direkt olarak. Had bildiriyoruz. Yardımcıları çok gazlıyor bu da. Evet gazlıyorlar ama şu anda yani adama diyor ki senin ellerinde böyle kartlar yok falan diyor ama kendisinin de yok aslında farkında değil. Neyse devam ettir.
country, this country,
I'm
that's
with
back
all
to
respect
you
to your
far
country.
more than a lot of people said
Very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United
Ha,
States of
tamam
America.
ha işte. Ha tamam işte. Tamam mevzunun aslı burada. Sen diyor Pensilvanya'ya gittin diyor ve diyor Biden yönetimi için seçim zamanında reklam yaptın diyor. Biden için seçim şeyi çalışması yaptın diyor. Ha, mevzu bu. Mevzu bu başka bir şey değil. Mevzu bu. Baklayı çıkardı. Bütün mevzu bu. Anladın mı? Bütün mevzu bu. Sen bu kadar desteğe rağmen hangi yüzde geliyorsun? Yani şu makam konusunda ciddi bir sorunları var bunların. Yani makam olarak görmüyorlar kendilerini. Hâlâ böyle Türkiye gibi aslında yani bayağı Tayyip Erdoğancılık yapıyor. Biden'ı da ayrı bir şey işte yani tıpkı nasıl seçim süreci boyunca şey yaparsın ya siyasi şeyler olur, atışmalar falan. Öyle devam ediyor. Kaldığı gibi devam ediyor. Yani başkan silsilesi olarak görmüyor kendini. Onun bir devamı olarak görmüyor. Devam edelim.
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave
Ya
you
burada
the
şey
president.
çıkışı, ya burada you're not going to win this, yani siz bu savaşı kazanamazsınız falan çıkışı tamamen aptallık Trump'ın. Çünkü en ihtimalle abi ben tarafsızım, üçüncü tarafım olarak bakabilir. Yani aptallık yani. Çünkü bu Putin'i oynar. Yani akıllı bir adam olsa zaten böyle bir şey söylemez, böyle bir konuşma yapmaz. Ha, bu bir yandan şu iyi. Hani dış işlerinde görüyorum bu şekilde gazlarsan adamı. İşte Biden YPG destekleri şöyle oldu, bunlar komünist bilmem ne falan diye. Bu şekilde bir yol alırsın bu herifle. Yoksa bu adamla akılla mantıkla bir şey olmaz yani. Düzdür yani, ne olduğu bellidir bunun, anladın mı? Devam.
President $350 billion.
You
We
voted
gave
for
you
your
military equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West?
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me.
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment,
Abi
this war would have been.
kalkıp da omzuna falan dokunması, bunlar şey değil yani. Normal değil bu. Bu baya sıkıntı yaratabilecek şeyler. Ya bunu da ancak Zelenski'ye yapabilirsin şu durumda. Ya bunu başkasına yapamaz yani. Başka bir lideri falan mümkün değil. Ya bunu ancak Zelenski yapabilir bu durumda. Çünkü ya belli yani. Durumu belli. Devam ettir.
Over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long.
Bak.
You have to be
Ya
thankful.
bu ikisi inanılmaz kolpacı ya. Tam diyor önemli değil diyor. Medyanın diyor konuşmaya alacağımızı aldık yani. Trump da diyor ki evet diyor, Amerikan halkının bunu görmesi önemliydi falan. Amına koyayım desene abi yani. Benim gerzek seçmenim şey yapsın diye. Benim gerzek seçmenime biraz gaz yapacağım diye yaptık. Gerisinin önemi yok falan modu. Tabii açıkça da söylüyor, ben bu Amerikalıların yüzeyselliğine hastayım ya. Çok yüzeyseller. Bizde o kadar düşünüyor değil mi? Ne kastetti, ne yaptı, metinde ne yazdı falan. Biz çok takıntılıyız böyle detaya falan. Adam düz amına koyayım ya. Evet medya görsün ya falan diyor. Medya görsün diye halktan nasıl falan diye. Çok basitler, çok şeyler. Yüzeyseller yani. Kolpa, anladın mı yani, sabahtan beri kolpa yapıyor orada. Devam ettir.
You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are
I
dying.
can tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low on
know.
soldiers. Listen,
Don't
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a
But I
ceasefire.
said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire
guarantees.
because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
Abi yani burada beni bağlamaz. Biden diye bir adam vardı, o sana yaptı bilmem ne. Yani çok uzak, hani hakikaten başkanlıktan, devlet adamından çok uzak zaten. Hani Trump'tan alışığız böyle şeyler ama kendine zarar verecek seviyede, onun da farkında değil. Yani Make America Great Again diyorsun ama Amerika'yı sikiyorsun oğlum sen yani. Anladın mı? Evet gazeteci araya girmese, hakikaten gazeteci araya girmese şu anda diplomatik kriz büyüyecek yani. Bu krizdir çünkü bu normal değil. Ve bunu da şeye bağlıyor. Bizim sayemizde şu anda masadasın, o yüzden değerimizi bil ama. Pazarlık yapıyor yani şu anda. Kendince pazarlık yapıyor. Yani bir şey yok ki yaptığımda falan diye bakıyor. Yani Trump'a sorsan bunda hiçbir şey yok şu yaptığında. Çok normal. Yarın mesela canım ciğerim Zelenski'de devam edebilir. Anlaştık falan moduna çeker. Devam ettir.
I'm sorry. It's going to be a tough deal to make because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through.
Abi yani
He went through.
çok basit şey diyor ki ya bu diyor beni diyor bağlamaz amına koyayım ya bunlar diyor şeye saygı duymuyorlardı ama bana saygı duyuyorlar. İşte özellikle o şey var ya o bayağı mizansen yapıyor ya işte o diyor Biden denen bir adam ama ben böyle değilim falan. Tamam dümdüz yani şu anda benim seçmenim izliyor medyada amına koyayım onlara güçlüyüm mesajı veriyorum. Bütün mevzu bu bak hiçbir şey değil başka. Adamın sikinde değil yani real politikadan oldu. Şov yapıyor yani. Sanki şeyin yeni sezonu çıkıyor. Neydi bunun programın adı ya? The Apprentice mi? Yok o filmin adıydı. Neydi bunun bir şeyi vardı. Televizyon programı vardı. Sen kovuldun. You're fired falan diyordu. Onun yeni sezonunu çekiyor sanki böyle kameraları görünce. Şov yapıyor adam. Devam ettir.
Through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war.
Abi yani yabancı bir devlet adamı var yanında. Ve senden önceki başkanın nasıl bir o evladı olduğunu falan ve kendinin ne kadar iyi olduğunu, ne kadar saygın bir adam olduğuna falan. Ve hani bahsettiğin kişi de senden önce o koltukta oturan kişi yani. Ondan devralmışsın. Devam. Bu şey değil böyle cool bir şey değil yani. Böyle cringe, bayağı cringe ve rezil. Devam.
Accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television. I will.
Şuna baksana. Abi yani ne dediğini duydunuz değil mi? Bence bu kadar görüntü yeterli. Bu çok iyi televizyonculuk işi olacak falan diyor. Taşak geçiyor yani. Bütün mevzusu şey yapıyor. Medyaya. Vaat ettiklerimi yapıyorum. Bakın bu piçi zorla ateşkese ikna edeceğim. Ve bunu açıkça yapıyor yani böyle gösterme falan da değil. Açıkça yani. Devam ettir.
And that's not a nice thing. I'll be. We'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thank you, sir.
I need the back.
We'll see. I don't know.
Guys, come on. Let's move, please.
All right, so you just heard there that entire.
Bu sonu muydu?
Abi açtığım linkte sonu koymuşlar. Aslında öncesi var.
Öncüsü bu kadar birbirlerine girmelerinin sebebi ne?
Vallahi mesela başta Vance soruyor. Pardon, başka bir gazeteci. Niye takım elbise giyinmedin diyor mesela Zelenski'ye. Orada da bir atışıyorlar. Onu koymamışlar buna.
Trump mı yapıyor bunu?
Yok, bunu sağındaki gazeteci yapıyor.
Abi başa alsana bir ya. Baştan oynat bir.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have President Zelensky of Ukraine. And we've been working very hard, very close. So we've actually known each other for a long time. We've been dealing with each other for a long time and very well. We had a little negotiation spat, but that worked out great. I think for both countries, I think for the world, actually, beyond both countries. And we have something that is a very fair deal. And we look forward to getting in and digging and working and getting some of the rare earth. But it means we're going to be inside, and it's a big commitment from the United States, and we appreciate working with you very much. And we will continue to do that. We have had some very good discussions with Russia. I spoke with President Putin, and we're going to try and bring this to a close. It's something that you want and that he wants. We have to negotiate a deal, but we've started the confines of a deal, and I think something can happen. The big thing is the number of soldiers, mostly at this point, but soldiers being killed. You're losing thousands of soldiers. So on both sides, we're losing a lot of soldiers, and we want to see it stop. And we want to see the money get put to different kinds of use, like the rebuilding. And we're going to be working very hard. But we've had a lot of very good conversations. I will say until we came along, the Biden administration didn't speak to Russia whatsoever. They didn't speak to anybody. They just allowed this to continue. And I will say that, I'll say in front of you, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, if I were president, this war would have never happened. We would have had a deal negotiated for you without having to go through what you've gone through. But your soldiers have been unbelievably brave. We've given them great equipment, but somebody has to use the equipment. They've been unbelievably brave, and we give them great credit. This was supposed to be over very quickly, and here we are 3 years later. So I give tremendous credit to your generals and your soldiers and yourself in the sense that it's been very hard fighting, very tough fighting. They're great fighters, and you have to be very proud of them from that standpoint. But now we want to get it over with. It's enough, right? We want to get it over with. So it's an honor to have you here. Thank you very much for coming. We're going to sign the agreement at the conference in the East Room in a little while, right after lunch. And we'll be having lunch together. We're also discussing some other things. And we appreciate everybody being here. It's somewhat of an exciting moment, but the really exciting moment is when we when they stop the shooting and we end up with a deal. And I think we're fairly close to getting that, and an honor to have you. And please, I'd like to say something.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you for the invitation. And really, I hope that this first document, will be first step to real security guarantees for Ukraine, our people, our children. I really count on it. And of course, we count that America will not stop support. Really, for us, it's very important to support and to continue it. I want to discuss it with details further during our conversation, and of course the infrastructure or security guarantees, because for today I understand what Europe is ready to do, and of course I want to discuss with you what United States will be ready to do. And I really count on your strong position to stop Putin, and you said that enough with the war. I think that is very important, Ben, to say these words to Putin at the very beginning of war, because he is a killer and terrorist. But I hope that together we can stop him. But for us, it's very important to, to save our country, our values, our freedom and democracy, and of course, no compromises with the killer about our territories. But it will be. And of course, what I wanted, we spoke about it by phone with you about the drones production. We have very good drones production. I think the best one in the world for today because of the war. Yes, and of course we need very much the air defense. You have the best air defense in the world, and really you helped us under attacks of Russians. And I want to speak how we can exchange the licenses. We're open to share the licenses of all our
Trump çok basit bir adam ya. Vallahi bir geri al. Bir geri al 10 saniye. Tabii ki de diyor hava savunma konusundaki en iyi hava savunma sistemi sizde, Trump'ın sıfatına bak şimdi.
one in the world for today because of the war. Yes, and of course we need very much the air defense. You have the best air defense in the world, and really you helped us under attacks of Russians. And I want to speak how we can exchange the licenses. We're open to share the licenses of all our drones with you, of course, with the United States, and we need licenses for quick production of air defense. Even after the war, we need our nation to be calm, that we are secured. So that's why we need this air shield. And of course, about this, I want to speak about the contingents. I think that France and UK already spoke to you, and we know that Europe is ready, but without the United States, they will not be ready to be as strong as we need. And then the last point, last not least, about exchange, about our people and children. And you know that this crazy Russian, that they stolen 20,000 of children, Ukrainian children. They changed their names, they changed their, their families, relatives, and now they're in Russia. We want to bring them back. And really, it's a big dream, task, and goal for me and our warriors. By the way, Mr. President, we exchanged, released more than 4,000 warriors from Russian prison, but there are thousands more in the prison. I wanted to share with you some images. How it's just can I now?
Yes, please.
One minute. Just you to understand in what circumstances, in what situation they are, and what the attitude of Russia to our prisoners. That guys, just you before and after. And you see before and after, just you to understand. Now thousands of such guys, ladies and men, there, and that so they don't eat, they beat them, and they they do a lot of bad things. So out of, even during the war, there are rules. Everybody knows there are rules during the war. These guys, they don't have any rules. You see that 50-60 kilograms left. And
böyle şeyler Trump siklemez, anladın mı? Yani bunlar Trump için bir argüman değil yani. Yani Trump için bunlar bir argüman değil. Trump gibi biri için diyeceksin ki şu kadar para kaybedildi. Putin'i durdursak şu kadar para kazanılacak. Şöyle sebepler, böyle şeyler falan. Böyle şey yaparsın bunu. Yani Avrupa'daki veya işte Biden yönetimindeki gibi insani olaylarla falan da ulaşamazsın. Onlar o iplemez böyle şeyleri. Devam ettir.
To show you what the changes with images of children, because I will share with you. I mean, it's looking tragic.
Yep, that's tough stuff.
I wanted very much to give you, and you see.
Yeah.
This is pastor, by the way. They stolen pastors because it's not Russian church. They stolen pastors and moved pastors to the prison. We, at the end of last year, we brought 3 pastors, and we could exchange them. And this is pastor, you see, like.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. So I mean, this I wanted to show you, and this. So thank you very much.
We want to get that ended, right?
Yeah, of course, we will.
I think we will. And
we have to, of course.
Do you have any questions, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. With the how much money is the U.S. going to put into the fund that is being created today, and how does this provide long-term security for Ukraine?
Well, we don't know exactly how much because we're going to be putting some money in a fund that we're going to get from the raw earth that we're going to be taking and sharing in terms of revenue. So it's going to be a lot of money will be made from the sale and from the use of raw earth. And as you know, our country doesn't have much raw earth. We have a lot of oil and gas, but we don't have a lot.
Ben böyle şeylerde
And what we do.
Toplantılarda şey anlamıyorum. Herkes kafasını sallıyor ama herkes böyle. Tercümanından şeyin herkes kafayı sallıyor. Ne anladın amına koyayım, anladın mı? Neye kafa sallıyor? Ne söylendi? Önemli bir şey olsa biz çeviririz ya. Siktirin alt yazıyı. Devam ettir.
Have is protected by the environmentalists, but that could be unprotected. But still, it's not very much. They have among the best in the world in terms of raw. So we're going to be using it for all of the things we do, including AI and including weapons and the military, and it's really going to very much satisfy our needs. So it's something that just worked out really well. We have a lot of oil, we have a lot of gas, we have a lot, but we don't have raw earth. So this has just about every component of the raw earth that we need for computers, for all of the things we do. This puts us in great shape.
And long-term security for Ukraine.
I think they're going to have great luck. I think once we make the agreement, that's going to be 95% of it. They're not going to go back to fighting. I've spoken with President Putin, and I feel very strong. I've known him for a long time, and I feel very strongly that they're very serious about it. And we'll make a deal. And when the deal is made, I don't think we talk about security. Everyone's talking about the other day. All they talked about was security. I said, let me make the deal first. I have to make the deal first. I don't worry about security right now. We have to have a deal because right now, last week, 2,000 soldiers died on both sides. 2,000, and they're losing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a week. So as we sit here and we talk, people are getting shot and dying on the battlefield. And they're not American soldiers, but they're Russian soldiers and they're Ukrainian soldiers, and we want to be able to stop it. And we want to be able also to spend money on other things. We don't want to. This is a tremendous amount of money. And
ya Trump'ın derdi şu, ya onu bunu konuşuyorsunuz. Trump'ın derdi şu. Önce diyor anlaşma diyor. Yapılsın diyor. Bizim diyor önce anlaşmamız var. Önce anlaşma yapın amına koyayım. Ondan sonra buraya para gidecekmiş, şuraya şey olacakmış, buraya bu yapılacakmış. Ben diyor önce anlaşma isterim birader diyor. Bu kadar basit ve Zelenski anlaşma imzalamıyor diyor. O yüzden onu o kadar zor. Burada artistik yapacağına yani sondaki kavga herhalde oraya gidiyor. Şu anlaşma imzala. İmzaladın. 9 amına. Biz olmazsak da yarrağı yersin demeye getiriyor. Bu kadar basit yani. Devam ettir.
security on the money. Europe, as you know, gave much less money, but they had security. It was in the form of a loan. They get their money back, and we didn't. And now, at least we're protected because the American taxpayer has to be protected too. But
Amerikanyalı 29 kişiyle hostlamış duayen kardeşim, hoş geldin. Demettir.
Agreement for Ukraine because we have a big investment in their country now, and what they have, very few people have. And we're able to really go forward with very, very high-tech things and many other things, including weaponry that we're going to use in many locations, but that we need for our country. This allows us to do this.
Will you continue? Sorry.
Military aid. Yes, go ahead, please.
If I can just yes. In the document, there is one of the very important points. If we speak about business and investment, we never had LNG terminals in Ukraine. This document will open. I mean, the next documents, but anyway, here we see in the framework, we see a really good will for this. LNG terminals for us is very important, and I think for security of European continent. We have the biggest storage, gas storage. We have the biggest in Europe. Yes, and we can use it. Use it for LNG. Use it for LNG, and we will do it. And really, we can help Europe because Europe really helped. President Trump said that they made less support, but they are our friends and they are our very supportive partners. They really gave a lot, Mr. President. They did.
They gave a lot, but they gave much less.
No.
Much less.
No. No.
Okay.
Ya burada şey abi çok garip ya. Çok garip abi yani. Komik mi diyeyim, şimdi çok garip yani, olmaması gereken bir şey. Çok garip yani, nasıl anlatayım onu da bilmiyorum ya. Mevzuyu anladınız değil mi? Yani Avrupa'dan bahsediliyor ve Trump'ta sürekli şey var yani, Avrupa bizden az yapıyor, Avrupa bizden şey yapıyor falan. Hani Zelensky burada niye Avrupa savunma rolüne girmeye çalışıyor onu da anlamadım. Trump'ın bizden daha az ama bizden daha az değil mi? Çok garip abi, çok. Hani range de çok geniş, anladın mı? Böyle bir tatlı ponçik şakalaşmadan senin ben ananı sikeyim diye moduna girmeleri çok hızlı, kaygan bir zemin yani. Yemin ediyorum bak, real life Michael Scott yani, harbi de Office olabilir. Vance de şey değil mi? Vance de Dwight değil mi? Devam ettir.
Mr. President Trump, you have repeatedly called the deal with Ukraine as a historical one. And as a president of the United States, you make historical decisions in other issues which affect America and other world. So what place in the world history do you want to take? And do you associate yourself with any famous historical figures?
Yeah, I'd say George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. I would say I'm far superior to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Now, you know I'm only kidding, right? Because when I say that, the fake news is going to go wild. They're going to say he considers himself to be better than Washington. But you never know. You never know. I don't compare myself to anybody. I'm here to do a job. We've had a great 35 days or whatever it might be, a month, a little more than a month. We've accomplished tremendous amounts.
Oğlum ya. Devam ettir.
Not only this would be a very great achievement if we could get the war stopped and get them back to normalization. I think that's going to happen. We've had very good talks on both sides, as you know, but I think we've done a very good job, just generally. If you look at all of the things we've done in 30 days, they're saying there's never been a opening for a president. The first month, there's never been a first month like we've had. And this is one of the very important things. This, to me, is one of the most important things because we have tremendous death taking place as we speak, and I don't want to have that. You know, think of the parents, whether they're in Russia or Ukraine, think of the parents of all these people being killed needlessly.
They came to our territory.
Should have never started. This would have, if I were president, this would have never started.
Mr. President, will you continue sending military aid to Ukraine after the U.S. signs this agreement with Ukraine?
Yeah, we're going to be continuing.
President Zelensky, do you feel like the U.S. is on your side? That the President Trump is on your side at this moment?
Right.
What do you think?
He wants to know. Do you think that? Sort of a stupid question. I guess we wouldn't be here if I wasn't.
I think that the United States on our side from the very beginning of occupation, and I think that President Trump on our side, and of course, I'm sure that the United States President will not stop support. This is crucial for us. It's important for us. Yes, and Putin, the President, speaks about the people and the soldiers which are dying, but they came to our territory. They came to our land. They began this war, and they have to stop. And I think this is the question, was really the most important question. Can President Trump, I hope yes, with some other allies, to stop Putin, withdraw these enemies, our enemy, withdraw these troops from our land? And I think that you asked about the history, I think that if President, or when, he will stop Putin, if President Trump will bring peace to our country, I think he will be on this wall.
We've had very, very good talks.
President Zelensky just said that there will be no compromises with Vladimir Putin.
Ya evet, birincisi Adır Elay olayını kabul etmiyor. Birincisi yani diğer elaylarla beraber yapacaksan tek Trump yapacak. İkincisi de abi Rusya geri çekecek falan, bunlarla ilgilenmiyor yani. Ukrayna salacak falan da. Alacağını aldı modunda bakıyor Trump. Yani benim dönemimde olmadı ki, bana ne amına koyayım diyecek neredeyse. Ki diyor zaten. Hani işgal benim dönemimde olmadı. Benim dönemimde olacak olan sizin anlaşmanız diyor. Yani önemli olan bu. O yüzden adamın, yani Zelenski'nin beklentisiyle Trump'ın vaat ettiği yani yakından bile geçmiyor. Yakından bile geçmiyor yani. Zelenski Putin çıkacak işte terörist bilmem ne. Trump diyor ki bir an evvel anlaşma imzala amına koyayım da modunda. Devam ettir.
Are there compromises that you think that President Zelensky is going to have to make? And President Zelensky, is there anything that you might be thinking that you may be able to offer or bring to the table, for example, elections? Thank you.
I think you're going to have to always make compromises. You can't do any deals without compromises. So certainly he's going to have to make some compromises, but hopefully they won't be as big as some people think you're going to have to make. That's all. That's all we can do. I'm here as an arbitrator, as a mediator to a certain extent between two parties that have been very hostile, to put it mildly. They've been very hostile. There's been a vicious war. There's been a vicious war. You know, it's a very level battlefield, and those bullets go out, and as I've said many times, we were talking about it with Pete, many times the only thing stopping those bullets is a human body. And in the case we're talking about, generally young human bodies are stopping a lot of bullets. It's dead level. That's why it's great farmland. It's great land. It's great farmland, but there's very little protection against the bullets that are being, and other things that are being shot. So all I can do is see if I can get everybody at the table and get an agreement. And I think we're going to end up with an agreement. Otherwise, I wouldn't probably be even here today.
Mr. President, I've got two questions for you. You think ultimately your legacy will be the peacemaker and not the president that led this country into another war and ended foreign wars? And I've got a question.
I hope it will. I mean, I hope I'm going to be remembered as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing if we could do this. I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else. Second is to save a lot of money, but I consider that to be far less important. So I hope I'm going to, thank you, Brian, for that question. It was a nice question. I hope I'll be known and recognized as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing to solve. This is a very dangerous situation. You know, this could lead to a third world war. This was headed in the wrong direction. If this election were lost, if we didn't win this election, and we won it by a lot. That was a mandate. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. We won everything. The districts, you look at the...
alaka yani, biz seçimi kazanmasaydık 3. Dünya Savaşı çıkardı. Önden hazırlanan sorular, gazetecilerin önden hazırlanan sorular sorması. Abi senin için küçük bir Erdoğan mı kaçtın o? Ne seçimi abi yani? Seçimi büyük bir farkla kazandık bu arada falan diye. Ne alaka? Bunu niye Zelenski'nin yanında diyorsun? Bu yani oldun, kazandın, bitti oğlum başkanlık mı? Sen artık başkansın, anladın mı? Devam ettir.
Areas of red. Take a look at a map. This was a big mandate, and this was one of the things I said we're going to get this thing settled. If we didn't win, I think this could have very well ended up in a third world war, and that would not have been a good situation. What was your second question?
My second question for President Zelensky. Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest, why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not respecting the dignity of this office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe something like yours. Yes. Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper. Thank you.
Thank you, President Trump. You said yesterday that are you going to send more arms to Ukraine in case there's no peace?
Yeah, we're going to have.
Niye gülüyorlar ya? Şey dedi. Niye dedi takım elbise giymiyorsun hani burada Trump'ın karşısında, başkanın karşısına çıktığın zaman, işte burada Amerikalıların birçoğunun bunda bir derdi var, sorunu var yani. Böyle dolaşıyorsun diye. Savaş bittikten sonra ben de büyük ihtimalle senin gibi belki biraz daha güzel, belki biraz daha iyi, belki biraz daha ucuz bir takım elbise, kostüm giyerim dedi daha sonra. Ondan güldüler. Saçma yani. Devam.
Hopefully I won't have to send very much because hopefully we're going to have it finished. we're looking forward to finishing this quickly. We're not looking forward to sending a lot of arms. We're looking forward to getting the war finished so we can do other things. But we very much appreciate the agreement because we needed what they had, and we're treating, our country is now treated fairly. Biden didn't do that. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. This should have never happened. This should have never started. But, sure, the answer is yes, but hopefully we won't have to send much because...
Ya sürekli Trump'ın şöyle bir olayı var. Sürekli işte baştan beri böyle olmaması gerekiyordu. Baştan buraya gelmesi gerekiyordu. İşte sanki Biden işgal etti amına koyayım. Biden yanlış yaptı. Biden'dan dolayı işgal etti. Tamam. Senin çözümün neydi mesela? Yani adam işgal etti. Senin çözümün neydi amına koyayım? Yani sen nasıl durduracaktın mesela? Bana saygı duyuyorlardı. Bana saygı duyuyordu. Bana olsa nasıl yapmazdı abi? Yani sana saygı duyuyordu diye Ukrayna işgal etmezdi. Ama Biden'a saygı duymuyor diye işgal etti. Öyle mi? Bu mu çözümün? Yani Amerika'nın bir sik şey yok yani. Amerika'nın caydırıcı hiçbir özelliği yok Amerika Birleşik Devletleri'nin. İnanılmaz ya. Devam ettir.
Getting it done quickly. Very quickly.
Does that mean you'll provide security guarantees, Mr. President?
I don't want to talk about security yet because I want to get the deal done. You fall into the same trap like everybody else. A million times you say it over and over. I want to get the deal done. Security is so easy. That's about 2% of the problem. I'm not worried about security. I'm worried about getting the deal done. The security
ya bak önce diyor anlaşmayı tamamlayacağız yoksa diyor geri kalanı güvenlik olayı boş beleş mesele. Onlar hallolur diyor. Ne ki onlar diyor. Sen de diyor herkes gibi diyor aynı tuzağa düşüyorsun. Tuzak. Yani bir tuzak var ortada ve bizi kullanıyorlar Amerika olarak, anladın mı? Paramızı falan kullanıyorlar. Önce önemli olan anlaşmayı sağlamak. Bla bla bla. Devam ettir.
Is very nice. Everybody stop shooting. And now will Europe put people there? I know France is going to. I know the UK is going to. I know other countries are going to, and they happen to be right next door. We haven't committed, but we could conceivably. We have security in a different form. We'll have workers there digging, taking the raw earth so that we can create a lot of great product in this country. So in that sense, you have something, but we haven't determined that yet. I will say, in speaking to France and in speaking to...
Ne alaka abi? Ya son cümlesi falan aşırı saçma. Yani güvenlik konusunda orada işçilerimiz var, işte şey yapıyorlar, toprağa kazıyorlar güzel ürünler üretmek için. What the fuck bro? Ne anlatıyorsun sen ya? digging. Devam ettir.
Last week and just the other day, they have committed to a lot of security. I don't think you're going to need much security. I think once this deal gets done, it's over. Russia's not going to want to go back, and nobody's going to want to go back. When this deal ends, I really believe this deal is going to be over. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President, thank you. You had President Macron and Keir Starmer at the White House this past week, both of whom praised your courage and conviction to lead the pathway towards peace.
Yes.
Part of that involved, though, re-engaging Russia in diplomatic relations, something that previous leaders lacked the conviction to do so. What gave you the moral courage and conviction to step forward and lead that?
Well, I love this guy. Who are you with?
One American News, sir.
Well, that's why I like him. One American News does a great job. I like the question. I think it's a very good question. It's a pathway to peace. It's a pathway to getting something solved. And I feel that as the head of this country, I have an obligation to do that. Plus, we're very much involved. We got involved. It's too bad we got involved because there should have been no involvement because there should have been no war. And there shouldn't have been October 7th. That would have never happened. As you know, Iran was broke. They had no money to give to Hezbollah. They had no money to give to Hamas. They were stone cold broke. And then under Biden, they became rich as hell. They went from no money to $300 billion in a period of 4 years. And they gave a lot of that money away, and you see what happened. And that's a real mess also that we hope to be able to solve. But no, I appreciate your question very much. I feel I have an obligation to try and do something.
Ya tam şey modu abi, hani eğer bir verim elde edemezsek bu da işte Biden'ın suçu, o kadar sıçtık yani, elimizden geleni yapıyoruz, ne kadar toparlayabileceğiz bilmiyoruz falan modunda. Yani sürekli aynı açıklamalar, yani çözümden daha çok hani olur da çözemezsek modunda her zaman. Devam ettir.
If I can answer. Yes, if I can answer. Sorry, please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other. But you know what? I think he's dressed.
I like this guy.
I think he's dressed beautiful.
So I have more serious things than answer on such questions. I will answer on more serious questions if I can. Yeah. So please, about security guarantees. And about just ceasefire. We can't just speak about ceasefire and speak. It will not work. Just ceasefire will not never work because I'm like the president. I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times he broken his own signature. 25 times he broke a ceasefire.
But he never broke to me. He never broke to me.
No, you were the president. You were the president during.
He never broke to me.
In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president, but he had, of course, not with you, but he had during those periods, he had conversations with our side, and we had Normandy.
Burada başlamış mevzu. Yani adam ne dersen de basının önünde senin zamanında sıkıntılı bir şey oldu deme modunda Trump. Yani Trump ısrarla şunu istiyordu. Yani Zelensky deseydi ki Allah Biden'ın belasını versin amına koyayım sikti attı. Neyse ki Trump'la beraberiz, Rusya'yı sikeceğiz değil mi Sayın Trump? Sizin döneminizde sikeriz bunları. Siz olmasanız var ya dese herhalde okey diyecek yani. Adam çok ölçülemez bir tip, anladın mı yani? Ne istediğini bilmiyor pek. Yani övülmek istiyor sadece ve şu anda hiç işine gelmiyor yani medya önünde. Sadece övülmek isteniyor. Amerikalılar benim ne kadar iyi bir adam olduğumu görsünler. Devam ettir.
Ukraine and Russia, and he broken 25 times. That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees. Security guarantees, maybe President is right about this document and other, but this document is not enough. Strong army is enough because his soldiers afraid, Putin's soldiers afraid of our soldiers when we're strong enough. If we are not strong enough, if we are empty, if our storage is empty, we can't defend our land. Today, you know, he knows that we have, all the world knows that we have meeting, yes? Why he's using ballistic? Putin today using ballistic on our hospitals, schools, and etc. Ballistic. So he knows that we are here and that President Trump is really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear now the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want. But I hope that we will do it. Really, we'll do it. Security. When we speak about security guarantees, when the Europeans are ready for contingents, they need USA backstop. If there will not be United States, we will not never have any contingents, strong contingents from the Europeans, because they don't want to divide alliance connection between the United States and the main and strongest ally and Europeans. And this is crucial. This is important. That's what we want to speak about very much. This is very important. And air defense. So air defense, really, we have big deficit with all these systems, and we need to provide this. We need it very much. Otherwise, Putin will never stop. And we'll go further and further. He doesn't want. He hates us. You know, it's not about me. He hates Ukrainians. He thinks that we are not a nation. He thinks, and he shared these thoughts. I think maybe with your team also. I don't know. But with all the Europeans, in media, officially and not, he always said that there is no such country, such nation, such language, and such life like Ukrainian. No, he really doesn't respect all the Ukrainians, and he wants to destroy us. And you are right, Mr. President. That's 2%. This document, maybe other documents, it's a very good start, very good, but it will not enough to stop this person.
Should Russia pay to rebuild Ukraine?
Mr. President, after these...
Should Russia pay to rebuild Ukraine?
They have to pay. This is the rule. This is the rule of the war. This is the rule of the war. During all the centuries, all the history, this is the rule of the war. Who began, those pay. This is the rule. Putin began this war. He has to pay all money for innovation. He has to pay. Of course, some Russian assets, what we have in Europe, about 300 billion, we can use them. We can use for innovation and buy military support from the United States also. We can do it, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
Wait, 1 second.
I asked this question that you didn't like because I wanted to know if you want to position yourself in the middle between Russia and Ukraine or on the Ukraine side.
No, I'm in the middle. I want to solve this thing. I'm for both. I want to get it solved. And it's wonderful to speak badly about somebody else, but I want to get it solved. If we can solve it, great. If we can't solve it, they're going to have to fight it out, and who knows what's going to happen. But I want to see it get solved.
May I follow up? One more question about U.S. troops in Europe. After Russian invasion of Ukraine, your predecessor sent additional troops to Eastern Europe, including Poland, my country. Yeah. Are you committed to keeping these troops on the eastern flank of NATO in the future?
I'm very committed to Poland. I think Poland has really stepped up and done a great job for NATO. As you know, they paid more than they had to. They are one of the finest groups of people I've ever known. I'm very committed to Poland.
What about Baltics?
Poland's in a tough neighborhood, you know.
What about the Baltics?
The Baltics, they got a lot of, it's a tough neighborhood too, but we're committed. We're going to be very committed, and we're committed to NATO. But NATO has to step up, and the Europeans have to step up more than they have. And I want to see them equalize, because they are in for far less than we're in. And they should be at least equal. Right now, they will probably go.
And how do you envision a trilateral summit with President Zelensky and Putin?
I don't know, but well, they don't like each other. I can tell you that. They do not like each other. This is not a love match, and it's unfortunate. That's why you're in this situation. The United States should not have allowed this to happen. Okay? The United States, run by a man that didn't know much. I'm going to be very nice. Run by an incompetent
Amerika Birleşik Devletleri başından beri buna onay vermemeli duruyor da nasıl olacağını da söyleyeyim yani. Nasıl onay vermemek olacakmış yani. Nasıl engelleyecekmiş. Baştan olmasaydı tamam. Yani her soruna böyle yaklaşacaksak eğer baştan olmasaydı böyle bir sorun olmayacaktı. Bu her şey için geçerli amına koyayım lan. Baştan yaşanmasaydı hiç olmayacaktı bu. Tamam nasıl caydıracaksın elemanı? Devam ettir.
Allowed this to happen. I've stopped wars. I've stopped many wars. Like people will tell you, I stopped wars that nobody ever heard about. I stopped wars before they ever started. You can look at some of. I could give you a lot of nations that would tell you right now they were probably going to war. I could tell you right now there's a nation thinking about going to war on something that nobody in this room has ever even heard about. Two smaller nations, but big, still big. And I think I've stopped it. But this should have never happened.
Mr. President,
About sorry, just a second. About any negotiations. First of all, I want really to tell you, and I think that everybody understands that Ukraine, modern Ukrainians, nobody wants to stop this war. But at the future, any negotiations, it's understandable that two sides of the war, not Russia and the United States, because this is not the war between Russia and the United States. This is war of Russia against Ukraine and Ukrainian people. So these two sides will be at will be at the negotiation table. Then of course United States, like the strongest partner of the Ukraine, and of course Europe. I think Europe is very important. I want to speak about it with the president. Yes, Europe is very important for us because we really defend Europe for today. All Europeans really recognize that we are defending line and they have real life and our people are dying. That's why they helped us. And also it's about the NATO. Yes, between, like the president said, you have big, nice ocean. Yes, between us. But if we will not stay, Russia will go further to Baltics and to Poland, by the way. But first to the Baltics. It's understandable for them because they've been in the USSR. You know, they've been one of the republics of the USSR, and Putin wants to bring them back to his empire. It's a fact. And when he will go there, if we will not stay, you will fight. Your American soldiers. It doesn't matter. Do you have ocean or not? Your soldiers will fight.
Mr. President, would you be willing to visit Ukraine, maybe Kyiv or Odessa, which is known to be a dirty year with Lexi?
It was my question.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to talk about Odessa now. Let's not talk about Odessa. I want to talk about making a deal, getting peace. We don't have to talk about Odessa, but a lot of cities have been destroyed. A lot of cities that are not recognizable. There's not a building standing.
No.
And a lot of things.
Mr. President, you have to come and to look. No. We have very good cities. Yes, a lot of things have been destroyed, but mostly cities alive and people work and children go to school. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes closer to front line, children have to go
ya burada
schools or
burada bastığı ikinci sıkıntı işte Avrupa'yı da koruyoruz. Avrupa'yı hiç tanımıyor Trump. Yani umurunda değil. Aramızda okyanus var. Bu da diyor ki yani aranızdaki okyanusun bir önemi yok yani. Eğer Putin bizi geçerse Polonya falan da girdiği zaman sike sen de gireceksin diyor. Tamam burada anladık. Kafa kafaya geldiler ama burada da Zelenski'nin kesmemesi gerekirdi. Yani diplomatik olarak kesmemesi gerekirdi. Hani bir de kesmesinin de bir anlamı yok ki yani burada. Yok canım bütün şeylerimiz sıkıntılı değil. Bazı şeylerimiz halen daha şeyde falan. Ne oldu? Ne değişti? Yani çok öyle sıkıntılı bir şey de söylemedi ki. Niye kesme gereksinim hissettin ki? Ya bu da saçmalamış yani biraz. Devam ettir.
Online, but we live. Ukraine is fighting and Ukraine lives. This is very important. And maybe it's Putin is sharing this information that he destroyed us. No, he lost 700,000 people, 700,000 soldiers. He lost everything. Yes. So,
Mr. President, one more. I mentioned Poland.
Please go ahead.
When did you last speak with President Putin? And what did he say?
A couple of days ago.
And what did he tell you that gave you the assurance that he wanted peace?
Well, that's what I do. My whole life is deals. I know pretty good. And I've known him for a long time. I've dealt with him for a long time. He had to suffer through the Russia hoax. You know, Russia was a hoax. It was all Biden. It was nothing to do with him. So he had to suffer through that, and he was able to do that. I think that he wants to make a deal, and he'd like to see it end. That's all I do. That's what I do. My whole life, that's what I do is make deals. And I'm in the middle of a mess because this is a real mess. It's a very dangerous one. If this doesn't get solved now, it's not going to get solved for a long time. So I hope we're going to get it solved. In the back, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Prime Minister Starmer claims repeatedly that his government believes in free speech and is not engaged in censorship. But his country's government arrests people for memes and thought crimes, and even more worrisome is pressuring American companies to censor Americans on its behalf. How can he be a reliable, trustworthy partner when he says things that are demonstrably false on such important topics?
Well, we actually spoke to him about that yesterday, and we thought they took it very, very much too far. JD was very strong on it. So was I. So was Marco, and we've been speaking to him about it. Marco, would you like to say something about that?
We have concerns, obviously, with the conduct of those, particularly as it impacts Americans. And there's real concern that American speech, which is online, could fall into the hands of British or any country's jurisdiction. And so this is a point the Vice President made at Munich, and I think it's a very compelling one, that what unites us with Europe, as much as anything else, is these shared values, and one of them being free speech. And so if Americans are threatened by it, we're going to need to take action in that regard.
Mr. President. It's actually a very important question.
We spoke about this in detail with the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and others at lunch yesterday, and I know that Secretary of Commerce Lutnick followed up in private meetings last night. This is really important. We believe Americans have the right to speak their mind, even if we in this room disagree with them. They have the right to speak their mind in the public square, which is often online these days, and we're going to defend that right as it pertains to American companies and American citizens vigorously if we have to. I do think that under the President's leadership, we're going to find common ground with our friends in the UK on this question, but it remains to be seen. The principle that will guide us is we believe in free speech in this country, and we'll fight for it for American citizens.
Mr. President, on the deal, is there any other oil and gas component to the deal? Is it all critical?
A little bit. We'll see.
On LNG?
But we're not really looking for that so much. We got a lot. We have more than anybody in the world, by far. So no, we're not talking about it too much, but a little bit. I think it affects also, but for the most part, no.
And sir, is there any agreement from Ukraine to purchase U.S. LNG as part of the deal, or is that on the table at all?
No, we don't need that.
Mr. President, I just wanted to ask you about it. You just mentioned that you'd spoken to Vladimir Putin a couple of days ago. Just to be clear, that's a new call, not the one that you...
I've spoken to him on numerous occasions.
Okay. And how was the latest call? What did you discuss? How did it go?
Are you serious with that question?
I am. I'd love to know.
It went well. I think we're going to have a deal.
On the minerals deal, Mr. President, some of those minerals are in the east of Ukraine, not far from the front lines and in areas that Russia has occupied. Will you direct President Putin to withdraw his forces from those areas if there's U.S. interest?
Well, we'll take a look at the time. We have a lot of area. It's a very big area we're talking about, so we'll take a look. I'll study that and I'll see.
And who would protect those minerals if they are U.S. interests? Would that be Ukrainian forces?
They'll be protected. The agreement will protect them.
US
the agreement,
forces?
yeah, we're signing an agreement.
Right, but what if Russia tries to invade or there's Russian aggression in their spots?
I just told you I don't think that's going to happen. And if that were going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal. If I thought that was going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal.
Some people may wonder why.
You know, they ought to focus on CNN on survival, not asking me these ridiculous questions. Focus on surviving, because CNN's got such low ratings. I don't think they're going to survive. Let's go.
Please, since I already mentioned Poland. Poland was under Russian control for decades after the Second World War. When I was a kid, I looked at the United States not only as a most powerful country, richest country in the world, the country that has great music, great movies, great muscle cars, but also as a force for good. And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America. And for the good of the world, I'm aligned with the world. And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin.
Abi hakikaten son soruda mı patlamış lan böyle? Ciddi son soruda patlamış böyle. Abi yok yani. Demin dedik ki acaba önden bir şey mi oldu diye de hayır abi önden bir şey olmamış ya. Bazıları chat'e yazmış ya Zelenski kesti. O kadar dramatik değildi yani bu. Bunu açıklayacak bir mevzu değildi. Bu eleman. Bu saçını siktimin elemanı. Vance bokunu çıkarıyor. Devam ettir bakayım. Buraları biliyor zaten hızlı geçer. Devam ettir.
destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, parts of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those
Ramazan AFK mısın? CNN canlı yayın açsana. Buraları izledik biz ya. Bura kavgayı biliyoruz. CNN canlı. Biraz geri al.
Young children along to our
So thank you very much. So I just want to say we're going down to Florida. We have a big event tomorrow night, a big MAGA event, Make America Great Again. And it's setting records, and otherwise I'd rather be right now at the White House. But we're doing the big event tomorrow night. We had some big news this week, as you know, because Apple is investing $500 billion. Think of that. And that's going to be a lot. It's going to be a tremendous investment. I guess the biggest investment anybody's ever made in the country at one time. But they're going to be investing a lot of money, $500 billion. We have many other companies have just announced they're coming in. A lot of it's because of how we're doing. We've done a great turnaround in a little more than 30 days, but the country's really doing well, really doing well. We're respected again all over the world. If you look, we had the Japanese Prime Minister. We had the Prime Minister yesterday of UK, as you know. We had the Prime Minister of India. We have another 20 Prime Ministers and Presidents wanting to come. And it's very good feeling. I think our country has really turned around. We had a meeting today, as you know, with President Zelensky, and I would say it didn't work out exactly great from his standpoint. I think he very much overplayed his hand. We're looking for peace. We're not looking for somebody that's going to sign up as strong power and then not make peace because they feel emboldened, and that's what I saw happening. I'm looking for peace. We're not looking to go into a 10-year war and play games. We want peace. And it was just my impression that if we do that, if we sign up, he's looking for something that I'm not looking for. He's looking to go on and fight. We're looking to end the death.
Ya dediğimi diyor arkadaşlar. Yani onun istediği şey işte tabii ki de Putin'i tamamen Ukrayna'dan atmak, işte savaş öncesi durumuna geri getirmek. Benim istediğim de bir an evvel savaşı bitirmek. Bu kadar basit diyor yani. Ben diyor barış, yani barış ama hani ne barış olduğu da belli. Devam ettir.
Died this week, soldiers, more than that, but 2,000 approximately people died this week. Young Ukrainians and Russians. And somebody would say, why do you care about Ukraine and Russian soldiers? I care about them. I care about everybody. And we're not doing that. Now, if we don't do anything, he's going to have to make peace, but he's dealing with a very weak set of cards. If we sign, he's dealing with a very strong set of cards, and then he doesn't want to make peace. So that's where we are. It's very simple. I'm not looking to get into anything protracted. I want immediate peace. President Putin is going to want to make, and he wants to end it. And you saw what I saw today. This is a man that wants to get us signed up and keep fighting, and we're not doing that. Not for this country.
Ya şöyle Putin'le görüşüyor mu oğlum bu? Hani o da peace istiyor diyor. Bugün benim gördüğüm o da gördü diyor. Sen nereden biliyorsun ne gördüğünü bugün? I don't know bro. Bugün ona destek vermeyeceğimizi görmüştür manasında söylüyor. Devam ettir.
Economically we're setting records, and I think every way we're setting records. One of the best is the right track, wrong track. You saw that. We're on the right track for the first time in over 27 years. People are impressed with that. The other thing is the feeling about our country. The feeling is great. It's up 48% on feeling on business. And that's the record we've never had. There's never been a record where we've ever gone up that much in such a short period of time. So we're doing really well. And I guess some of you are coming with us, and if you are, I hope you're going to have a good flight. What? What does Zelensky need to do to restart talks with you? He's got to say, I want to make peace. He doesn't have to stand there and say about Putin this, Putin that, all negative things. He's got to say, I want to make peace. I don't want to fight a war any longer. His people are dying. He doesn't have the cards, just so you understand it, okay? I can tell you.
Did you tell Zelensky to leave the White House?
I don't have to tell you that. Go ahead. I think you know the answer to that. What? Wait. Look, I don't trust or distrust anybody. I just want to get a deal done. And if the deal happens, good. But you can't embolden somebody that does not have the cards, and all of a sudden that person says, oh, well, now I can keep fighting. We're not going to keep fighting. You're going to get the war done or let them go and see what happens. Let them fight it out. I want anybody that's going to make peace. If he's capable of making peace, which he may or may not be, but I want somebody that's going to make peace. Again, he doesn't have the cards. When we sign up, he's got all of the cards. That doesn't mean he can fight. He's got to stop the fighting, stop the death. He's losing hundreds of thousands of soldiers. It's time to stop the death. Say it.
Evet, ısrarla bir şey var. Cidden ısrarlı bir yani elinde ama biz destek verirsek var. Abi sen destek verirsen var da sen adama destek verdiğinde savaş bitmiş oluyor. Putin kazanmış oluyor. Yani sorry bro, hani Zelenski tarafını tutacağım diye değil ama hani senin sunduğun çözüm de çözüm değil. Ya pek sikinde de değil zaten yani. Bir an evvel burayı kapatıp Çin'e odaklanmak istiyorsun çünkü. Devam ettir.
Now he wants to come back right now, but I can't do that. I can't. They should have an immediate ceasefire. That was the other thing he didn't want to do about ceasefire. A ceasefire could take place immediately. A contract, if you want to end the war, you sign up an agreement. That's going to take a period of time. It takes time. I want it to end immediately. And I think if you had a ceasefire, it would be a ceasefire, a real one, that would end it. But he doesn't want to do that. That's fine. Do a better deal. I want it to end immediately. I want a ceasefire now. He says, oh, I don't want a ceasefire. Well, all of a sudden, he's a big shot because he has the U.S. on his side. Either we're going to end it or let him fight it out. And if he fights it out, it's not going to be pretty. Because without us, he doesn't win, let me tell you. It doesn't matter what I'm considering. I'm just telling you. You saw what I saw today. That was not a man that wanted to make peace. And I'm only interested if he wants to end the bloodshed. Thank you very much.
Ya sorumluluktan kaçma derdi var ve bugün de bu şovu bu yüzden düzenledik. Biz bu adamla anlaşamayacağız. Aha da sebebini gördünüz. Bu yüzden anlaşamayacağız diye. Anladın mı? Yani savaşı durdurmak istemiyor, işte ateşkes bile yapmıyor. Aha da sebebi budur diye şov yaptı. Yani onu da gördünüz değil mi? Hepiniz de gördünüz değil mi? Hepiniz izlediniz değil mi? Hepiniz gördünüz değil mi ya? Takılıyor. Hepiniz gördünüz değil mi diye takılıyor. Bu ne? Oynat.
Back to the White House, Jackie Heinrich has some new information for us. Jackie.
Yeah, I just went up to the press area to get an understanding of what we're watching. This is what I was told. The president has kicked Zelensky out of the White House. His delegation right now is telling him that he's got to go home. The president felt disrespected. Officials in the room felt that beyond the language barrier that we've heard some discussion about, Zelensky's body language, shrugging and eye rolling, was ungrateful, disrespectful, and the president feels that Zelensky is not ready for peace and he can come back when he's ready to talk about peace, but he's not in that position right now, and Zelensky is being told he's got to go. The lunch that they were supposed to have is sitting right outside the hallway, and the press staffers are going to be eating that lunch. This is really pretty incredible.
Adamı Beyaz Saray'dan kovmuş. Yiyecekleri yemeği gazetecilere vermişler. Madem yiyecek yok siktir git. Sen şu anda bir çözüm için hazır değilsin. barış için hazır olduğunda tekrar geldi. Göndermiş herifi. Niye işte ağzınla yüzünle saygısızca hareketler yaptın? Ağzınla yüzünle. Abi bunlar tam AKP'li var ya. Tam AKP'li bunlar. Kaşınla gözünde saygısız hareketler yaptın bilmem ne diye. Herifi kovmuş abi. Siktir git dedi herife bildiğin. Devam ettir.
See the
Jackie,
SUV,
hang on with us one
Zelensky's
moment. If you
SUV.
look to your left, you're going to see him. Let's watch.
Mr. President, is the deal off? President Zelensky, can you tell us what happened?
Abi adam da şaşıp kalmıştır amına koyayım. Normal değil yani. Devam ettir.
Valkoiselta talolta äsken saimme tietää, että mineraalisopimuksen allekirjoittaminen peruttiin kokonaan ja Zelensky juuri astui sisään autoonsa. Sadat toimittajat.
Did you sign the minerals deal? Did you sign the minerals deal?
Why were you so disrespectful to the president?
Efe bunu var ya oğlum gazlasan her şeyi çekersin amına koyayım. Herif tam böyle mahalledeki kolpacı abilerden. Of ya sen şu slavgacıları nasıl ayarlıyorsun usta ya. Yani hepsi hasta sana amına koyayım falan diye çeksem buna 2 tane. Direkt gaza gelir bu. Devam ettir. Yeni tür diplomasi.
Watching the floor fall through this moment in international relations and diplomacy, or this might be the art of the deal, and we're not going to know for some time. Jackie, it appears that even going into this meeting that this relationship was not great. About a week ago, President Trump called Zelensky a dictator. He was asked about that yesterday with the British Prime Minister, and he said, "Did I say that?" Next question. As if he wanted to brush that off and make sure that
Zelensky açıklama yapacak mı? Zelensky açıklama yapacak mı? İzleyelim mi onu? Yapacaksa hemen yapıyorsa izleyelim yoksa yavaş yavaş salalım artık. Yeter daha. Zelensky'ye bu olaydan sonra destek veren bir ülke var mı peki? Üstad şimdi yaşandı olay biliyorsun değil mi? Olay şimdi yaşandı üstad. Cem Yılmaz'a bot elmas verince bot verip siktir ettikleri sahne orası. Aynen öyle. Bütün Avrupa başkanları destekliyor. Abi ben yayındaydım o zaman ya. Şu J.D. Vance'in şeyini açsana. National Catholic Prayer Breakfast. Bakalım neyin gazıyla gelmiş bu yapışık.
Kesit, and I will say that even though I in my private sector days was a technology investor in Silicon Valley, I haven't quite figured out how to work my government computer yet. So 30 days in, I'm going to have to wing this a little bit because I thought about what I was going to say on the morning over here, and that of course makes all the communications staff that are sitting backstage extremely nervous because they have no idea what I'm going to say. And before I went on, I talked to Luke, who's one of my main communications guys, and I said, Luke, this is all off the record, right? No one's going to say or know what I said today, so I can just say whatever I want. And I'm sure that none of you will leak it to Axios, and none of our friends in the media back there will stream it live. So let me, just offer a few notes of appreciation. First off, to Maureen Ferguson, who's become a dear friend of mine, and I know a great leader in this community. She and her husband Mike have been better and kinder to me than I deserve, and my entire family has been the beneficiary of it, especially in finding places to send my kids to school at the very last minute, because I'm a bit of a procrastinator, and Maureen and Mike have been very helpful in helping us navigate the DC school environment for our young children, and so we're grateful to them. I want to give a shout out and a note of appreciation to Congressman Chris Smith from the great state of New Jersey, who I know received the great award. And we're grateful to his leadership and grateful for his friendship, and he is a very good guy. So Chris, I assume you're out there somewhere, though I can't see you. But congratulations, man. We're proud of you, and I'm proud to be here with you. I want to thank Mark Randall, who, of course, has hosted an incredible breakfast for now. This is the 20th year, I believe, of the National Catholic Prayer Breakfast, and it seems like we're doing pretty good here with the National Catholic Prayer Breakfast. And of course, this breakfast holds a very special place in my heart. As Maureen mentioned, I came here last year as a very young senator, not knowing how much my life would change. And I'm thankful to God, but also thankful to the friendship of the people in this room for helping us get there, because I think that we have turned a new page in Washington, D.C., and we are going to take advantage of the opportunity that God has given us. So I want to say a couple of words just about Trump administration policy, because while you're certainly not always going to agree with everything that we do in President Trump's administration, I feel very confident in saying that between protecting the rights of pro-life protesters, between ensuring that we have an opportunity to protect the rights of the unborn in the first place, and importantly, protecting the religious liberty of all people, but in particular Catholics, I think that we can say that President Trump, though not a Catholic himself, has been an incredibly good president for Catholics in the United States of America. Now, we know, of course, the last administration liked to throw people in jail for silently praying outside of pro-life clinics. We know that they like to harass pro-life fathers of seven, very often Catholic fathers, for participating.
Önceki hükümet insanlar dua ettikleri için hapse mi atılıyor? Hangi olaydan bahsediyor ya? 28 Şubat'ta ya abi, yürüyün gidin. Tam dinci, tam dinci. İyi bir Katolik başkan falan diye. Ha, dur bakayım bir saniye, dur bir tanesi yazmış, dur bakayım. İngiltere'den bahsediyor. İskoçya'da sözde bir kürtaj kliniği önünde dua etti diye hapse atılmış. Olay kolpa. Derdini sikim diyeceksin değil mi bunlara? 3 dakikam var daha Zelenski'nin konuşmasına. Devam ettir bakalım.
Throw people in jail for silently praying outside of pro-life clinics. We know that they like to harass pro-life fathers of seven, very often Catholic fathers, for participating in the pro-life movement. And we know that the last administration wanted to protect taxpayer-funded abortion right up into the moment of birth. And on every single one of those issues, in 30 short days, Donald J. Trump has gone in the exact opposite direction, and I am thankful for that, and I'm sure that every single person in this room is thankful for that as well. But I actually want to talk about a couple of other things. In particular, one of the most important parts of President Trump's policy, and where I think President Trump's policy is most in accord with Christian social teaching and with the Catholic faith, is that more than any president of my lifetime, President Trump has pursued a path of peace. And we very often, I think, ignore the way in which our foreign policy is either an instrument or an impediment to people all over the world being able to practice their faith. And we know, and as of course I learned in this breakfast last year, I believe there were some Nigerian priests who were being persecuted and were trying to protect their flock despite incredible persecution. We know that some of the biggest groups that are persecuted all over the world today are Christians. And the Trump administration promises you that whether it's here at home with our own citizens or all over the world, we will be the biggest.
Bu Katoliklerde var bu arada. Bu Almanya'da da benim Katolik komşularda, arkadaşlarda, işte okuldan arkadaşlarda falan hep şey vardı. Hep böyle bir işte Hristiyanlar dünyada en çok zulüm gören, işte özellikle sırf inançlarından dolayı böyle Katoliklikte şey vardır ya. Yani Katolizmin felsefesinde de işte İsa çile çekerek, işte bedel ödeyerek, günahları ödeyerek hep böyle bir acı şeyi vardır, teması vardır ya. O yüzden tekrar şey yaparlar bunu. Dillendirirler yani. Devam ettir.
The rights of conscience, and I think those policies will fall to the benefit of Catholics in particular all over the world. But I would say, my friends, that it's not enough simply to protect the rights of conscience, to pursue funding opportunities and grant-making opportunities that protect the rights of people to engage in religious conscience. We also have to remember that oftentimes the biggest impediments to religious liberty have not come through malice from the United States government, but have actually come through carelessness. And one of the things that I have to be honest, that I am most ashamed about, is that in the United States of America, sometimes it is our foreign misadventures that lead to the eradication of historical Christian communities all over the world. And so when President Trump talks about the need to bring peace, whether it's in Russia and Ukraine, whether it's in the Middle East, we of course have to recognize that as a policy oriented towards saving lives and carrying out one of Christ's most important commandments. But I think we also must recognize it as an effort to protect the religious liberty of Christians. Because over the past 40 years, it has often been historical Christian communities who bear the brunt of failed American foreign policy. And that is, in my view, perhaps the most important way in which Donald Trump has been a defender of Christian rights all over the world is he has a foreign policy that is oriented towards peace. We have done it already so much in the past 30 days, and I'm proud that we will work for peace all over the world in the remaining 4 years of President Trump's term. And I think that's an important thing. Now, of course, we're not always going to agree, and I'm sure that there are people in this room who agree or disagree with some of our views on foreign policy, on any number of issues. The one thing that I will promise you is that you're always going to have an open door with me and with the president. I think that you've already seen that, and if you haven't, please.
Shuto, Berkay'ın ekranı verir misin?
Signed as back pay for previous U.S. support while the peace talks continue with discussions for post-war security guarantees to come later, emphasizing the need for diplomacy with Russia. Zelensky warned not to trust Putin, again demanding security, and the world watched as it unraveled. Not even a handshake. Ukrainian President Zelensky's delegation piling into an SUV outside the West Wing after President Trump told him to leave the White House grounds. White House officials say the Ukrainians begged to reset as Secretary of State Marco Rubio and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz delivered the news. The president posting online, Zelensky disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace.
Your people are very brave, but you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty.
The talks went off the rails. The Ukrainian ambassador visibly distressed, head in hand, as Zelensky again voiced the need for security guarantees, which were not part of the minerals deal. The U.S. viewing its stake in Ukraine's development as a guarantee of its own.
I met with Zelensky this morning. I urged him to stay on message, be grateful, be thankful. We'll talk about details of security guarantees later. Keep it upbeat, keep it positive. It was absolute, utter disaster.
Vice President Vance took offense to a history lesson from Zelensky that Russia has violated past peace agreements without security guarantees.
He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people.
You have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come on.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour.
Democrats siding with Zelensky.
This is the Trump-Vance clown show, and it's horrifying.
Maybe you leave J.D. Vance outside of the room. You know, I didn't see our Secretary of State should have been involved, you know, in this conversation. I voted for him.
Trump holding the line, giving the lunch meant for Zelensky to staff.
He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
Zelensky posted on social media thanks to President Trump, thanks to Congress, and to the American people. But that answer to Vice President Vance's demand was not enough to reset today. The president, now headed to Mar-a-Lago, said Zelensky won't accept an immediate ceasefire. Meantime, Ukrainian lawmakers are alarmed that Putin is laughing, and Russia did try to watch this closely today. A Russian state media reporter snuck into the Oval Office before getting kicked out. Brett.
Jackie Heinrich, live in the North Lawn. Jackie, thank you. We are pleased to welcome back to Special Report Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Mr. President, thank you for the time today, especially on this day, to continue to do this interview. President Trump said after your meeting that you disrespected him and the Vice President and all of America in the Oval Office. Do you think you did? And do you think you owe an apology to President Trump?
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the invitation, for this dialogue, and good evening to all your country, to all Americans. I'm very thankful to Americans for all your support. You did a lot. I'm thankful to President Trump and to Congress, bipartisan.
Amına koyayım adamın İngilizcesi kaymış lan.
Very thankful from all our people. You helped us a lot from the very beginning during 3 years of full-scale invasion. You helped us to survive.
Evet canlı yayın arkadaşlar, canlı bu.
Anyway, we are strategic partners, and even in such tough dialogue, and I think we have to be very honest, and we have to be very direct to understand each other, because it's very, for us, very necessary to President Trump, and I'm with all respect that he.
İyi hadi tamam devam ettir.
With Europe, with all the partners, and I think this dialogue had to be a little bit earlier to understand where we are. Like, you know, I don't remember exactly, but like President Reagan said, that peace is not just an absent the war. Yes, we are speaking about just and lasting peace, about freedom, about justice, about human rights. And that's why I said that I think so, that ceasefire, and you know Putin, he broken 25 times ceasefire during all these years, 10 years.
So I'm not hearing from you, Mr. President, a thought that you owe the president an apology.
No, I respect President and I respect.
Abi niye özür dilesin, ne yaptı ki ya?
I don't know.
Fox'ta tam Amerikancı amına koyayım yani. Niye özür dilesin? Devam ettir.
Honest, and I'm not sure that we did something bad. I think maybe sometimes some things we have to discuss out of media, with all respect to democracy and to free media. But there are things that where we have to understand the position of Ukraine and Ukrainians, and I think that is the most important thing. Yes, we are partners. You know, we are very close partners. We have to be fair. We have to be very free.
I'm told that you were told multiple times from lawmakers on Capitol Hill and the White House to make today about the minerals deal and the economic deal, and then get it signed and let negotiations play out over security guarantees step by step. Is that true?
I said that we have to sign this document, and we are ready for this, and this will be the first step to security guarantees, but it's not enough. I think so. Maybe I don't know something. I don't know some details. That's why I wanted to share it with the president, my thoughts, and to hear him again, because he has a plan how to stop Putin. And maybe, as I said, maybe it's out of big conversations, but we have to share it. You know, this is so sensitive. You know, just a ceasefire without security guarantees, this is so sensitive for our people. I'm speaking like a president of a people who are in this struggle 3 years, and they just want to hear that America on our side, and that America will stay with us, not with Russia, with us. That's it. But I'm sure that it will be. This is the first step to security guarantees. Europeans, we don't need to lose them. They are good allies for the United States. The United States is the most or the biggest donator of support and of peace. But we don't need to lose Europe, and they also want to know next steps. We have to be very open to understand how to stop the war.
Right. But do you think the public spat in the Oval Office in front of the media served Ukrainians well today?
I think this kind of spat is I mean this this is not good for both sides anyway, and I very open, but I can't, you know, change our Ukrainian attitude to Russia, and I don't want they kill us for us. You know, this is very, very clear that Americans are the best of our friends, Europeans are the best of our friends, and Putin with Russian, their enemies. And it doesn't mean that we don't want peace. We just want to recognize the reality, the real situation.
President Trump is convinced that you will never sign a deal with Vladimir Putin. Is he right?
No, I think so. What I think, Ukraine wants peace, and we will have anyway diplomacy. We will have negotiations. I only said that I think so. It's about just and lasting peace. It means that we have to be very strong at the table of negotiations, and at these negotiations, Ukraine and Russia, like sides of this war, have to be, and the United States and Europe. That's what I said. So we are ready for peace, but we have to be in strong position. What does it mean? Just to know that our army is strong, that our partners with us, and that we have security guarantees. Am I not right?
Leaving the White House today, President Trump said this.
He's looking to go on and fight, fight, fight. He wants to come back right now, but I can't do that.
What do you make of that? Do you want to continue fighting? Do you want peace? And if he had the opportunity to go back to the White House right now, would you do it?
No. First of all, we want peace. That's why I'm in the United States. That's why I visited President Trump. And thanks for the invitation again. The deal on minerals is the first step to security guarantees. It's meant for the peace, closer to peace. That's why I'm here. And we have tough situation. To understand it is to be in Ukraine. You saw it, Brad. You was once. Thank you again. So I think that's very important to understand what's going on. But I respect my soldiers and our people, our civilians who work and support our warriors. I can't say just stop. Nobody will stop because everybody afraid that Putin will come back tomorrow. We want just and lasting peace. It's true. We want security guarantees. We raised this topic about NATO the quickest way, but not all the countries are on this side. I said, okay, if not NATO, nobody is pushing. If not NATO, let's build NATO in Ukraine. That's my position. Europeans are ready to have contingents on our territory, boots on the ground. United States thinks maybe to help, maybe USA backstop, have to be just to guarantee that they are with Europeans. Look at Europe, it's strong, it became stronger, but they also want to have allies like the United States. That's what I said. I just want to understand what the peace. It's not my question, Brad. This is the question from all our people.
You mentioned when I traveled to the front lines with you last year to see the situation to...
Ya abi dediği şey şu, Trump bana diyor ki sen işte anlaşma imzalamıyorsun, ne bileyim işte barış peşinde değilsin ama ulan bana bir garantisi yok ki diyor. Hani ben bugün barış ver desem ne olacak? Bu kadar insan ölmüş, böyle basit bir şey değil ki bu diyor. Bunun garantisi yok. Yani yarın Putin'in devam etmeyeceğine dair herhangi bir garanti yok diyor. Duruşu bu. Karşı tarafta soru özür dileyecek misin? Haksız hissediyor musun Trump'a karşı? Bla bla bla böyle yani. Devam ettir.
Will Ukrainians survive without Congress support? Of course. But not all of us. It will be tragedy for all of us, not only for Ukraine, not only for Ukrainians, for all Europe. Yeah.
So the question today is, can Ukraine win this war or hold off Russia without continued U.S. support?
It will be difficult for us. That's why I'm here. That's why we speak about the future negotiations. It will be difficult without your support, but we can't lose our values, our people. We can't lose our freedom. So a lot of people, Russians came to our territory, you know it. Russians came to our houses, and everybody saw it, video, images, a lot of things. They killed so many people. Just to forget it, just to say that Putin is a great guy? No, without us. We don't want it. That's why we speak about, everybody remembered how it was the first days of the war, how they came. Nobody wants in Ukraine, yes, of course, nobody will forget it, but nobody wants to have, again, new wave of occupation. That's why when we say, no NATO, what security guarantees can we have? I'm not pushing, we are not pressuring, we're just asking, we're just sharing very clear messages to our friends, to Americans. Right. If you stay with us, thank you so much, but let's do the infrastructure of security guarantees. Let's just share with our people, that America stay with us. That's great. We count on it. But just to share it and to say it, that's all.
How does the war end? How do you get to a deal? You're at a place right now where there is no deal. How do you get it back on track?
I think that Europe is ready for contingents and to help us with financing of big army, such big as we have now. This is our army is the part of security guarantees. Now we want to find the place for our biggest strategic partner, for the United States.
Ya abi,
United States will...
Zelenski'nin dediği şey şu, yani maden anlaşması istiyorsun, işin parasındasın. Ama abi biraz da güvenlik meselesini konuşalım. Yani tam madenleri vereceğiz de sömüreceksin sen bizi de. Bu işin güvenlik kısmı ne olacak? Bu kadar basit yani. Trump da diyor ki bana ne amına koyayım diyor. Sen diyor anlaşmayı hele imzala. Ondan sonra güvenlik meselesini konuşuruz diyor. Bu da çıkıp da yok abi öyle şöyle olmaz. Önce güvenlik meselesini halledelim. Ya işgal altındayız, savaştayız amına koyayım dediği zaman da Trump diyor ki ya görüyor musunuz diyor. Bu diyor savaş devam etsin istiyor. Ya bunun derdi diyor barış değil. Pikas Freud hoş geldin. Devam ettir.
Where and how United States will give us security guarantees, what kind of and what part of volume of security guarantees, and when we will be ready with this, we will come to diplomacy. To diplomacy, yes, with Russians, Europeans, United States, and we, four of us. I think this is real way, because with weapon, it's too long, it's not enough. We don't have enough weapon to push them out, and we don't see now. For now, we don't see really big volume of new support from the United States, but with all respect again. So for today, we'll be ready with security guarantee. Really, when I say NATO, it's not about that we are focusing on this word. It's about very understandable infrastructure of security guarantees. And you see that no NATO countries, for today, no NATO countries been under attacks.
Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican from South Carolina, he has been a big proponent of you and of Ukraine.
Büyük bir OE bu arada.
Today after the meeting.
I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance standing up for our country. We want to be
görüp görebileceğiniz en büyük Türk düşmanlarından biridir ha, Lindsey Graham.
And I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelensky again. He either needs to resign and send somebody over that we can do business with, or he needs to change.
So he says you need to consider resigning. Is that on the table?
I don't know if he will be happy after my words. This decision can do only people of Ukraine.
You're not going to step down to do a peace deal.
No, I was always ready. I'm not sure that is a good idea for this such proposals. But anyway, I always said if United States will support NATO, so I think that it's enough for Ukraine. So I think I did all I had to do. And if somebody is not happy with me, okay, but between us. Yes, Americans vote for American president. Each European country vote for their president, and only Ukrainian. With all respect to Lindsey, if I can say Lindsey, we know each other. Yes, and only Ukrainians.
Democrats have had the opposite reaction to the Oval Office meeting. Democratic Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut posted this. What just happened in the Oval Office was a planned ambush designed to help a brutal Russian dictator and hurt America's security. Trump has become Putin's lapdog, and America's global power is hemorrhaging as America sides with dictators over democracy. What an embarrassment. Do you think the confrontation in the Oval Office today was pre-planned, like Senator Murphy suggests?
I don't know.
You don't know? You think maybe?
I don't know. No. I don't. I don't know about it. I think no. I think it was just a really tough situation because we've been very open, very direct.
What set you off? What made you mad? Because they said your tenor and tone.
It's not about mad. It's not, Brad. You see, how to say, when you are in the United States, and for example, president or vice president or somebody or senators, it doesn't matter. Big
ya tabii Demokrat tarafının iddiası abi bu Putin'i desteklemek için yapılmış bir tiyatroydu. Soruyorlar abi sence tiyatro muydu? Önden hazırlanmış mıydı sence bunu? Ne bileyim ben amına koyayım diye. Beni şimdi niye araya sokuyorsun? Beni niye cepheye koyuyorsun? Diyor. Hani herife acıdım bir yandan da. Devam ettir.
That Ukraine is almost destroyed, that our soldiers run away, that they are not heroes, that Ukraine lost a million of civilians, that his president is dictator, you know? What is the reaction? It's not about me. The reaction is that where is our friendship between Ukraine and the United States? That's it. This is filling. And that's why I do not want to lose our great partners at the United States. And I just said that it's not the first time. I said it by phone, and we had some other conversations, and we had in Munich meetings, and I said, please, be correct. Just, I want to be very polite. I mean this, be correct with this number. When you say about the number, each person is important. When you say about a million of losses, we don't have any million of losses. Just when you speak about the territories, maybe some territories and etc., it's not just territory, it's houses, it's people's lives. You know, their fathers, mother, their relatives, grandfather, they died.
Ya dediği şey şu, ortaya çıkış mevzusu. Hani saygısızlık diyorlar ama işte çıkıyor Ukraynalı askerler, bir durdurur musun? Ukraynalı askerler kaçtı. İşte milyonlarca ölüm var. Bunların evleri, şehirleri yerle yeksan oldu. Bitti. Öldü, bittiler. Hani biz olmasak ya köpek çekiyorlar diyor ve ben daha önce de söyledim. Münih'te de söyledim diyor. Böyle yapmayın diyor. Düzgün konuşun, böyle yapmayın. Ben de çünkü saygılı davranmak istiyorum ama diyor hani böyle yaparsanız ne yapacaktım? Yani benlik bir mevzu değil ki diyor. Ülke meselesi bu diyor. Devam ettir.
You know, or fairy tale. This is real life. That's what I said. And when you said it, a lot of times to my big friends who've been here today in our dialogue, and then they again begin to repeat the same things, I think it's not, I mean this, that's why I said it's not good way between partners, good partners and friends. That's it. And I think that if journalists asking questions to president, with all respect to vice president, I mean this, he has his interview.
Mr.
This
President,
is our dialogue.
Shouldn't this dynamic, if you're going to be like this, be behind closed doors? Not.
Of course. And not,
so do you regret that? Are you regretting that happened today?
Regretting? Yes, I think it was not good. I think it was not good because we had a lot of different dialogues.
Bence yanlış çevirdi orada. Çünkü regret olayını kabul edecek birisi değil aslında. Yani sunucu şey almak istiyor ısrarla ağzından. Yanlış yaptım, pişmanlık bilmem ne. Bence yanlış çevirdi regret'i. Bence yanlış çevirdi. Rusça bilmiyorum, bunda Ukrayna dilini bilmiyorum ama var mı aranızda bilen chatte? Bence yanlış çevirdi. Devam ettir.
Open to media, but there are very sensitive things. I just want to be honest and I just want.
Ben biliyorum, üzgünlük anlamına gelen bir kelime olarak çevirdi. Üzgün müsün diye sorarsan elbette üzgünüm der yani. Elbette üzgünüm der. Devam ettir.
Situation correctly, and I want to understand everything correctly. That's about us. Not to lose our friendship.
A couple more things. What are the next steps in your mind? Here we are today. What are the next steps?
I think so. United States wanted this deal very much, and we've been not against this deal, but we wanted to understand what parts in security guarantees will take this deal and what next steps. Just again to understand for our people. During the war, what you don't like, even sometimes hate, surprises. It's understandable. Many terrible things this war brought to us. So we don't want any surprises. Yes, that's why we want to be very fair with our partners. And I think this deal, it was prepared by teams. It was not simple during weeks. And now it's ready. I think that they have to sign. The countries have to sign. The ministers have to sign. That's it. I don't know when they will do it. It depends on the American side.
So
exactly.
the minerals deal did not have security guarantees listed in it.
It's a part.
The security guarantees?
This is the part in the infrastructure of security guarantees. Because, for example, President Trump said that I think so that if we will be there in some productions and etc. in minerals, that Putin will never come on this territory where we are. And I said to him, don't trust Putin. Why? I said, because it's not, I mean this, we respect and we believe in strongest of the United States. But I said to him that
Trump'ın söylediği de bu zaten başından beri diyor ya. Şu anda kartlar senin lehine değil ama eğer bizde bu anlaşmayı yaparsan kartlar senin lehine. Trump'ın düşüncesi şuymuş arkadaşlar. Eğer bizde bu maden anlaşmasını imzalarsan bizim olduğumuz bölgeye Putin zaten gelemez. Ne yapacak yani, bize mi saldıracak, götü yemez. Bu da diyor ki yeterli değil amına koyayım. Putin güvenilecek bir adam değil yani. O yeterli bir şey değil, bir garanti vermen gerekiyor gibisinden. Yani mevzunun temelinde bu var. Devam ettir.
More than 20 companies, American companies, big companies on the territory of Ukraine. And we had offices, even on temporary occupied territories. For Putin, it doesn't matter. It's American, European company or Ukraine, it doesn't matter. He just came and occupied it. That's what I said. I think this is a great idea, how to strengthen Ukraine and how to make business between two countries, how to make additional jobs for two countries. But it's not just these will not save us.
I read what the Democratic senator said, that Trump has become Putin's lapdog. Do you agree with that President Trump is too close to Vladimir Putin in your mind?
We spoke about it, and I think today very openly, President Trump, he said,
with drugs, human trafficking, and violent criminals. They put American lives at risk.
Ne oldu lan, niye reklam girdi? Ya kardeşim reklamını sikim ya, ben tam şeydeydim anasını. Bu yayında da böyle mi yoksa sadece online mı? Bu online böyle ya, bu televizyonluk bir şey değil bu. Oturduk Amerikan reklamı izliyoruz ya. Abi çok saçma ya. Asmongold'da da Hasan'da falan da aynı, herkes de aynı. Birden kestiler mi? Abi o zaman kestiler bildiğini. Tamam dur. Yayını birden kesmişler, o garip olmuş ya. Garip olmuş yani hakikaten, tam yayını kesin amına koyayım moduyla Emir'le kapatmış olabilirler. Neyse değerli dostlar.